Hey, what's up, nerds? We're back for another installment of All Things Nerdy.
Oh, yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We know it's been a while, and this show tonight might actually take more than one show. So if you're listening to the show and it cuts off, look for part 2. But tonight, we're actually going to talk first about some current events. And what are those current events?
Well, in some very bad news, if you're a fan of Star Wars game franchise, the company LucasArts, which develops those games, has been shut down by Disney.
Disney, the Nazis of the cartoon world.
Fuck you, Disney!
Fuck you, Disney! Except for Mickey Mouse, you're cool.
What this implies, basically, is that the company has been shut down. All of its employees have been laid off. The company itself will still continue to license games. Like, Disney will still put the LucasArts logo on all upcoming Star Wars games. But no more Star Wars games will be made by LucasArts. They'll all be made by third-party companies. LucasArts did a real good job of making Star Wars games. Like, would you agree that they made a lot of good Star Wars games?
Some of my most favorite games of all time, actually.
We'll get into that later, don't worry. But that's a huge blow, I'm sure, to everyone who ever played a Star Wars game. That sucks.
And it's kind of like, all the Star Wars fanboys when Disney first took over, they're like, Disney's going to totally fuck up Star Wars. And Disney's like, no we're not. And then they do this shit. It kind of makes you wonder,
what else are they going to do?
I mean, granted, the new movie, I kind of feel good about it because they got, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and fucking Harrison Ford on board. But it's like, if you're going to do something like this, if this is going to be a movie with, dancing Jar Jars? I don't know. But anyways, moving on. Coming up soon is the 50th anniversary of one of our favorite shows, Doctor Who. And they're actually putting out a 50th anniversary special, which I heard, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and Matt Smith are all going to be involved with it. And I'm actually excited about it. But not only that, the new season of Doctor Who has started, which I guess it's kind of like a breakup of the previous season. Kind of, they took a mid-season break, but whatever. I haven't actually watched any of them yet. They're still in my DVR, but you watched them, didn't you?
I watched the new season premiere that was on last weekend.
What was it, The Bells of St. John?
Yeah, The Bells of St. John. It was pretty good. I'm not going to bother even talking about the plot. If I even mention the plot, I'm going to ruin it. So I would just say, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, and if you never even watched Doctor Who before, check it out. It's good.
Or if you have Netflix, fucking start watching it from the 9th Doctor. I mean, or even they have the original first Doctor through 8th Doctors on there. Just check out Doctor Who. I mean, you should probably start watching it from the 9th Doctor, because if you didn't grow up on the original 1 through 8, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But just get the fuck on Netflix and do something with your life. And the next is Evil Dead. The new Evil Dead movie's coming out. I'm going to say it's a third remake because they came out with Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 was basically a remake of Evil Dead 1. But the new Evil Dead, is it a remake or is it a reimagining?
I think it's a kind of little bit a column A, column B, because people were upset, oh, you're gonna have an Evil Dead remake, but with not with Bruce Campbell. What the frick? Well, two things. One, all the characters are completely new, different characters. No Ash Williams. I'd assume the girl in the frickin' basement is still gonna be someone's sister, but also,
and they have to have the Necronomicon.
Exactly. And not only that, but Bruce Campbell himself apparently
thumbs up
the movie. If the main actor, the main star of Evil Dead, gives your remake a thumbs up, you know you've done something right.
And, you know, next up on the docket, you know, people, the new Batman movie, people love it, they hate it, you know, but that's been like Batman movies since Batman movies have been Batman movies. But we have a proposal tonight. Hollywood, get off of your fucking ass. Make a motherfucking Batman Beyond movie. Batman Beyond, you know, a lot of people bitch about it. They're like, oh, Batman Beyond, you know, we love Batman animated series, but we didn't really care for Batman Beyond. Why not? It has the same thing. You got Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he might be fucking old. You got Terry McGinnis, who takes on the mantle of the Bat, but he's still being guided by Bruce Wayne, who is Batman, so henceforth, Batman is still, in essence, being Batman, just through a younger body. That's the only way he can do it. Superheroes get old. I mean, and that's another thing. You read comics all your fucking life, and the superheroes never age. Finally, they're like, let's make fucking Bruce Wayne fucking old. How more awesome can you get it? So we sat down tonight, and we were thinking, who would you cast? So I'm gonna let you take the role of Terry.
Well, we decided that if we only picked one possible choice for Terry McGinnis, and we decided, well, might as well have it be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Of course, you know, he was in The Dark Knight Rises as quote-unquote Robin. Spoilers. But, you know, we actually do think that he would do a pretty good Terry McGinnis. It would pretty much work.
Yeah, but because he could still, he's got that younger look, he could still legitimately play a teenager.
But the big one we decided on was
Bruce Wayne.
Who would you get to play an older Bruce Wayne?
Who else could you get but Adam motherfucking West? He's at that right age. He was Batman. I mean, he's got the voice. He's got the chops. He's been through the whole Batman spiel. I mean, Adam West. How much? It's a fusion of old and new. It's feng shui, Batman style. And the director, I mean, Kevin motherfucking Smith. I mean, he's the only person on the planet that could pull this off, because, I mean, have you read the man's Green Arrow? Dude knows his comics. Smith is legit. And while keeping on the subject of Batman, we're going to go on top 5 Batman villains. Take number 1.
Number 1. Pretty much obvious. It's probably going to be number 1 on everyone's list. The Joker. The Clown Prince of Crime. Maniacal, twisted clown, goes around. He kills people in the most sadistic, insane ways.
He's a clowny McClownerton.
And he is essentially Batman's arch nemesis.
I mean, and not to mention, when you think of Batman, it goes hand in hand. You think of Batman, you think of the Joker. It's like eggs, bacon, Batman, Joker. I mean...
Fun fact, when the Joker first premiered, in the first comic book issue he ever premiered in, he was originally going to be a one-shot villain. Never to be seen again.
Glad that didn't happen. But our second is Scarecrow. I mean, how can you not like the Scarecrow? He basically, in some form, basically gives people LSD almost, and their worst fears become true. He's like the Freddy Krueger of the Batman world, only you don't have to be asleep for this motherfucker to get at you. I mean, Scarecrow is... I mean, he's fucking creepy. Plain and simple.
If anyone has played the Batman game Arkham Asylum, they know that the Joker is... Not the Joker, Scarecrow. Scarecrow is a sick, twisted villain. Like, he's pretty much the master of fear, in a way.
Yeah, but basically, if you're scared of spiders, you're going to have, 40-foot tall spiders coming after you. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're scared of. Even insignificant things. I mean, if you're scared of, bottle caps, I mean, you're going to have, bottle caps the size of the Empire State Building rolling after you. It don't matter what your fears are. He's going to get in your head and fuck you up.
Alright, the next villain is, again, a real popular Batman villain. Everyone knows who he is. Two-Face. Harvey Dent. The man with dual personality, obsessed with duplicates. Whole world revolves around two of everything. If he commits a crime, he's like, I'm going to rob 2 banks, and I'm going to steal $2,000. I'm going to kill 200 people. What do you have to say about Two-Face?
About Two-Face, he's got one pretty face, one fucked up face. I mean, he was the DA. He was a good guy, and he got a chemical burn, and it fucked with his head, and he was just like, you know what? But the thing about Two-Face, the good thing is, when he's Two-Face, he can still be Harvey Dent. He can still be a decent guy, but it's that flip of that fucking coin. But see, that's the thing about Batman is, that's a lot of people in real life. You meet people and they're like, I'm a good guy, but then all of a sudden they flip and they're like, I'm a fucking horrible douche. So I mean, that's one way Batman taps into real life. It's like, people are cool, but they're dicks. And our next is Bane, and I'm gonna go with the comic book version of Bane, because I didn't care for the fucking movie version. I thought he was diluted. They didn't do his character right. His backstory was totally wrong. But the comic book version of Bane was just, oh my god! Chime in on this.
You essentially have a.
He's like a steroid freak. Venom that courses through his veins. Gives him his power.
Born in a prison, essentially. Forced to live his whole childhood under the most horrible conditions ever.
And the fucking thing is, his dad committed the crime. His mom was forced to carry out the fucking sentence, and then she died, and then it got put on the Bane to carry out the rest of the sentence. What fucking country is this?
Mexico?
I believe it was Mexico. Or if not, it was somewhere fucking pretty close.
And then, of course, he develops the whole fear of bats, which after getting put in the Venom program, being, turned into essentially a hulking behemoth. What pulls him to go to Gotham City?
He wants to break the bat.
Because he sees it as the basis of his fears. Exactly.
And the last was never in a comic book, never a comic character. She was actually made solely for Batman the Animated Series, but she's one of the biggest fucking Batman characters to date. Is Harley Quinn.
I mean, she did get to be in comic books, but that was not until after the animated series. She was created for the animated series, and credit to the writers of that show, they made a kick-ass villain.
Hell yeah, they did. And moving on, we were actually talking about this earlier tonight, basically the state of survival horror games right now really ain't that great. I mean, we both kind of, cut our teeth on the original, Resident Evils and Silent Hills, and those were legitimately scary games. I mean, they made you shit your pants at certain points, and it's just both franchises have continued on. I mean, where Silent Hill still has a little bit of what she used to have, but Resident Evil kind of strayed.
Yeah.
I mean...
It strayed away from that point in Resident Evil 4, which I know a lot of fans love Resident Evil 4. You know, it's one of the most popular games, but really, I've actually never played 4, never had any particular interest in playing Resident Evil 4. I played 5, is all I have to say about that. I played 6, kind of, better than 4 and 5. Kind of brings back that old nostalgic feel that you get from old Resident Evil, but still not the survival horror you'd expect. It's still mainly a third-person shooter.
I think part of my problem is I kind of grew up on the George Romero zombie movies, and I really dig the slow-moving zombies, and Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil, was slow-moving zombies, and they were actually zombies. And then, when you get to 4, I mean, even in 3, I mean, with Nemesis, I mean, that was a scary motherfucker. You'd be standing in a fucking, police locker room, all of a sudden you hear stars, and you know that motherfucker somewhere around, but you don't know where until you look around. And it kind of morphed into like going from zombies to just like random dudes that are infected with like not a zombie virus, but like just a virus that really makes them stupid, fast-running douches.
I am glad that 6 brought back traditional zombies for one campaign, Leon's. The rest of it is just the traditional, what he said, mutated soldiers.
Oh, we forgot to do random Batman characters that we think deserve, not necessarily their own movie, maybe their own movie, but just deserve recognition, like Nightwing, former Robin, and he strikes out on his own, and he's a bad motherfucker. I mean, what can you say about Nightwing?
You don't fuck with Nightwing.
I mean, he's basically like Batman without the fucking ears. That's it.
And the cape.
That's it, yeah, exactly. And then you got Jean-Paul Valley, who was Azrael. He was the Avenging Angel, whatever you want to say. He actually became Batman when Bane broke Batman's back in the comics, which the fucking movie should have followed, but I'm not going to get in the movie because I bitched about it so much, and I'm sick of bitching about it. And next?
Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne, a story arc where Bruce Wayne dies.
Yes, an alternate reality.
And Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, and actually, next on our list is Martha Wayne. She actually ends up becoming the Joker. And it's really fucked up, but I mean, it's really cool. Like, Bruce dies in the alley instead of Thomas and Martha Wayne, and Thomas takes on the mantle of the Bat, and Martha just goes crazy and becomes the Joker, and he ends up fighting his own fucking wife. I mean, if you haven't picked up those comics and read that storyline, what are you waiting for? And last but not least, is probably one of the sexiest comic book heroines is
Batgirl.
I mean, everybody's like Catwoman say, but Batgirl, goddamn, she's Batman with boobs. Fucking phenomenal. That's all I can say about that. I mean, who wouldn't want to date her? Enough said. What we got next? Vintage HD remakes of video games that we would like to see.
This doesn't necessarily mean the game will be remade from the ground up. It's just we want to see the same game, just with a new coat of paint, essentially.
Yeah. And this is in no particular order. And I'll let you take the first one.
First one is Link to the Past. A lot of people say that Ocarina of Time is the best Zelda game, but me and Jason have...
But you know what? They're wrong.
Me and Jason share the opinion that the best Zelda game is Link to the Past. It's, it's aged the most... It's aged the best. The best kind of layout. As Jason said earlier, he has the entire map memorized in his head. The entire overworld.
I close my eyes at night to go to sleep, and I see the map. I own this game on like 3 or 4 different systems. That's how great that game is. I will buy it over and over again. As long as you keep releasing it, I will buy it. But if you would release it in HD, that would be awesome, Nintendo. And the next is Super Metroid.
Oh, yes.
Metroid was awesome. Metroid was fucking awesome. Even Metroid 2, The Return of Samus on the original Game Boy was awesome. But Super Metroid, that's when shit got fucking real. And the game just took on a whole new fucking... it didn't really take on new gameplay because the gameplay was the same. But it seemed new because you're on the fucking Super Nintendo. And I don't even know what to say about Super Metroid that hasn't already been said. There's really nothing you can say.
And not to go a little, off topic, because not what's on our list, but some developers at Nintendo have actually said that they would actually be interested in making an HD remake of Metroid 2. How kick-ass would that be?
That would be fucking phenomenal. Do it. Quit talking about it and do it. Next on our list, Castlevania. I know there's tons of Castlevania games, but let's just get an HD remake that maybe meshes all the games together, except for Simon's Quest, because that game can die in the fiery pits of hell. But let's get a fucking good Simon's Quest game together. I mean, that's all there is to say about that. And the next, you take this.
I don't really know how to jump into this successfully, but Mario 64. We really think an HD version of Mario 64 would kind of help. And I know this is probably going to piss some of you off, but...
in my opinion, it would actually make the game more playable. I mean, it pisses me off when people's like, what's the best Mario game? Mario 64? No, it's not. It's Super Mario World. But, I mean... At the time, yeah, it did look good, but now you look at it and it's just like, it's a pixelated piece of shit.
It's I've never actually played Mario 64, never had any interest in it, mainly because as a kid I never owned an N64. But, I can't really say a whole bunch of that. But our next one, kind of interesting, because it's actually happening, believe it or not. How about you take this?
Alright, basically all the NES Disney games that came out on the Nintendo, which right now they are remaking DuckTales, which is phenomenal. Like, that actually lights a fire in my cold, bitter heart. But, let's get some more remakes. Let's get fucking Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Goof Troop, Darkwing Duck. Let's keep this going. And actually, a lot of kids are never ever going to play DuckTales for the NES, but a lot of kids will play it for, Xbox Live Arcade. So let's try to reintroduce some of the cool games, but, update them for these kids that are like, oh, graphics, I'm not even going to get into that because you know how I feel about that.
No.
But, let's just reintroduce them. What do we got next? Old school Pokemon remakes.
Yes! We're big Pokemon fans.
And we would love to see some old school games remade, but one of our ideas, which Nintendo, if you want to take this idea and run with it, you don't even have to pay us any money. Pokemon MMORPG. You got World of Warcraft where you walk through Azeroth and you fuck up people. Do it with Pokemon. Let me be able to train my Pokemon. Let me walk through the Sinnoh region, make every single region, and actually let me interact with people and duel real people with Pokemon. I mean, what do you feel about that?
I mean, how could this not be a good idea? Even with just us talking and just putting this idea down, developers would just be like, holy shit, this is a good fucking idea, let's put this down right now. Pokemon has been a handheld exclusive since the fucking beginning. I mean, you had Pokemon Stadium, the games, and you had Pokemon Snap and stuff like that.
You've had the few good console games, the few, and I stress the word few.
Few. But I think it's really time like we get a Pokemon MMORPG on the Wii U. I think it's plausible. I think it would sell like hotcakes. Also, a 3D Lavender Town. Dun 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 dun.
Exactly. And our next is top 5 Star Wars games.
We love top 5s, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we do all the time. We actually just sit around all day like, hey, what's your 5 favorite? That's the nerds in us. Actually, we got 4 minutes left, so we'll run through these and not really... We're going to try to get this into one show, so top 5 Star Wars games. I'll go first, you go second. Battlefront 2.
Force Unleashed.
Rogue Squadron.
Pod Racers.
Super Empire.
Yay.
And here's some of the kind of nerdy movies we're looking forward to coming up.
Iron Man 3.
Man of Steel.
Avengers 2.
Justice League.
New Star Wars.
New Star Trek. Which I need to go off on a tangent here. I'm kind of pissed at J.J. Abrams. He did Star Trek, the Star Trek movie. He's like, I really don't know a lot about Star Trek. And he did the second Star Trek movie, and all of a sudden he gets a chance to jump on the Star Wars bandwagon. And he's like, well, I love Star Wars, so fuck Star Trek. Anyways, whatever. Next gen consoles, basically the only 2 consoles that we're buying from the next gen is the Wii U and what?
The 3DS XL.
That's right. Because right now that's the only thing that really seems worth getting. The bullshit rumors about the next gen, I mean, you've all heard them, blah blah blah, we're not going to play used games, blah blah blah, this and that. But
we're essentially just going to wait a few years.
Yeah.
Even if they come out and the rumors aren't true, we're just going to wait.
If the PS3 and Xbox comes out in 2013, we'll buy them 2015, maybe 16. We don't know. We'll be enjoying our Wii U and 3DS XL too much to give a fuck. But one thing you guys need to look forward to, we're actually going to put a trailer up here soon. We're doing the 31 Days of Halloween for all things nerdy. Every day in October, we're going to put out a new video. It's going to be Halloween themed, whether it be horror movies, our favorite Halloween candy, our favorite Halloween memories, whatever the fuck it is.
Favorite nerdy Halloween special.
Exactly. Whether it's fucking Urkel's Halloween on Family Matters. It don't matter. We're going to be putting that out. And if you're at the Columbus Comic-Con this year, you can look for us. We're going to be there doing some filming. We're going to be meeting some cool people. There will definitely be videos posted. So look for us at Comic-Con.
And when is that?
That is the September... Look it up because I don't remember. Just look for the Columbus, Ohio Comic-Con 2013. We'll be there. If you know us, come say hi. We'll interview you, blah, 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 whatever. You'll be on our channel. But other than that, I think that's about it for our We're Back Bitches show.
We're back, bitches.
So, if that's everything,
it is.
I think we're out. Live long and prosper.
Oh, yes.
Peace out.
Do that.